When your wife says publicly she's happy your son doesn't exist, that's humiliation in HD. You guys gotta check this video out.
Guys, it's Benny. What is the single most divisive, racially charged, idiotic thing a president has ever said? Well, there's probably a long list, and that list starts and ends with Barack Obama, who at the height of the Trayvon Martin murder madness said this at the White House.
But my main message is to the parents of Trayvon Martin. If I had a son, he'd look like Trayvon.
Oh, okay, you got it. And if Trump had a son, he'd look like Kyle Rittenhouse. Like, what?
Obama literally made a thug a saint, right? If Trump said that about Kyle Rittenhouse, CNN would have had a field day. Literally, guys. Let's keep going.
Could you imagine saying something like this? What an obscene thing to say, especially about a hardened criminal who was trying to kill George Zimmerman, who couldn't even be charged by Barack Obama's own DOJ. They did a 2-year investigation and looked through everything, including witness statement, crime scene evidence, cell phone data, ballistics reports, reconstruction analysis, medical and autopsy reports, depositions, and trial record. And they were able to conduct 75 witness interviews and obtain and reviewed the contents of relevant electronic devices. The investigation included an examination of police reports and additional evidence. And they found that, the Florida jury got it right, that Trayvon Martin attacked George Zimmerman.
So guys, even when Obama's own Justice Department couldn't twist the facts, you know something is seriously wrong here. Trayvon Martin was the aggressor, right? But the facts don't matter when you're race baiting against a legacy that you're trying to create. You want everybody to be manipulated to think that the system is against them. When if you do everything, by the law and right, you don't have to worry about things like this. But that's something that people don't want to swallow. That's a hard truth, a hard pill that people don't want to swallow. Let's keep going, guys.
Was trying to kill him. And in the state of Florida, so badly was he trying to smash his skull. There's giant bloody bruises on the back of his head. Anyway, the point is that Trayvon Martin was a little sociopath criminal.
Hard truth, but
the
truth.
He acted out like an absolute violent animal. And in the state of Florida, you have a right to defend yourself, especially when your life is on the line. In fact, you have an obligation to defend yourself. So again, to say something like this in the midst of all of that is just an obscene gesture, probably the worst in our lifetime. And that, of course, these kind of moments foment the racial catastrophe that we're in today in the country. Barack Obama visiting all of those horrors upon us, the precursor to the BLM riots and like a zero trust society that, of course, Marxists like Barack Obama want. Anyway, lucky for Barack, he didn't have a son. Or should I say lucky for Michelle, because Michelle Obama is now talking about Trayvon and glad she doesn't have him, meaning she's glad she has no son. Why? Because they would have been like Barack. What an insane. Men, be incredibly careful who you marry. In fact, like who you marry is the most important decision of your life, period. Most men, you sort of like feel for Barack Obama because like, men they want sons and they want to have sons. I have 2 sons. I have 2 daughters. I love them all. I'm glad I'm raising girls and boys. There's value in all of it. There's just something to like mothers and daughters and something to like roughhousing around with your boys. It's like just it. It's deep in the bone. And so like, it's a very strange thing for Michelle Obama to say here, that she's really, I'm so glad I didn't have a boy, says Michelle Obama in her stupid podcast that nobody watches, because he would have been Barack Obama. Well, here's the offending clip where insufferable feminist girl boss Michelle decides that the reason she doesn't want a boy is because she hates her husband.
He needs as a grown man in the world. That would be.
You should have threw a boy in the mix.
I would. I'm so glad I didn't have a boy.
Yeah.
Because he would have been a Barack Obama. It's like.
So guys, that right there, that's not a partner. That's in a passive aggressive PR campaign, right? And what I don't like is the media sits there and they clap that up. They clap that. They love that. They sit there and they love that because it goes against everything that we believe in, man.
Maybe Barack, it would have been
Ooh,
amazing.
no, I would have felt for him.
What kind of man allows his wife to talk about him like that, right? Well, at least nobody's listening. Michelle Obama got 38,000 views on this episode.
That's not power. That's a whisper.
Got it. 1,000 likes. Something's off there. Something's off there. Only 20 dislikes. Well, I mean, ladies and gentlemen, you got to up those numbers, okay? You got to pump those numbers up. Dislikes. Yeah. I'm not saying I feel bad for Barack Obama. I'm saying what abject and total disrespect here. This is like classic left-wing.
Keep listening, guys, because what you're about to hear is crazy.
Disrespect. Why would you ever allow your wife to go out and do this to you? Michelle Obama says she's glad she doesn't have a son because it'd be Barack Obama. Can you think of a more disrespectful thing to say? I'm telling you, like, this would be. I can think of a number of things that, like, my wife could say that would be like sickeningly disrespectful, and this probably is very close to the top of the list. Makes you feel sorry for Barack. Imagine the sentiment coming from your wife. Wow. Michelle Obama, glad she doesn't have a son because it'd be Barack Obama. I would have felt for him. She's glad she never had a kid like Barack Obama. Wow. Another public swipe at her husband. Michelle Obama is worried about having an imaginary son to trailblaze Barack when she's got daughters running around with mangly-looking white men smoking cigarettes and dressing like Lynn from Girlfriends. Barack, male Obama, would not have been the worst thing in the world. Well. Here's what some users are saying about that. The DNC is trying to engage young men by using a queer plus-sized female influencer to bring young men back into the party, and Michelle Obama is saying she's glad she doesn't have sons. Does anybody at the DNC actually know men? Realize how stupid this is? What an admission. I'm thankful that I married a man who I am proud of, and I'm glad to have his sons. They want to be like their daddy. She really hates him. It's remarkable. Women don't marry men if you suspect they are in the closet. Your existence will be a lifetime of doubt, misery, and whatever the hell this is. Holy hell. It's awful. Again, could you sincerely imagine anything worse that your wife's saying? Oh, they're divorced. You work hard to become an Ivy League grad, attorney, senator, and first black president of the most powerful nation on earth. And the thanks you get is your wife saying she's glad she didn't give you a son to follow the trail you blazed. Whew. I can't imagine being this bitter after the life she has led. She's only famous because she's married to Barack Obama. That's it. That's your whole claim to fame. Guess everything else, guess she really isn't ever running. That's exactly right. Yeah. What a casually cruel thing to say. Michelle Obama is a reprehensible figure. Damn, just disowning Trayvon Martin like that. See, I appreciate that. Pakistani is looking up at the second Barack Obama drones. With a wife like this, who needs enemies? I never understood that people said she was likable. She's not likable. Michelle Obama randomly. My man is such a loser. Right? Caught, damn it, Michelle. B, learn to shut up. Bass Mike.
Guys, the thing about me is I'm worried about the kids actually dropping the family name. You know, that's generational disrespect. I think another thing that we have to look into, guys, is look at all the support that Obama and Michelle Obama gave to Kamala Harris, right? If Kamala Harris and Tim Walz was to get into the White House, I believe that, what time is it right now? 11 p.m., right? We would look outside and it would be bright as day because we would be getting probably nuked. Look at all the people he's paying to go after Trump. Look at all the things that are going bad. And what is one of the worst things that are going bad to you guys right now that you want to leave down low in the comments so I could reply to it, I could look at it, and we could have a conversation. Let me know what you guys think about this video. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe if you're new. And as always, let me know what to react to. We're out.